What's going on YouTube? This is Sean. I am back, and in this video we are going to be working on the Pott rescue suit. We're going to start off with the helmet. I've already got all my pieces cut out, the inner patterns transferred over, and all the V-groove undercuts cut up, and all the edges already have glue applied to them. So I just got to put them together. I'm going to start off by putting the cheek to the faceplate. Actually, it's the side to the faceplate. The edges to the sides actually have a inward cut, so that way, or an inward angle cut, that way when you glue them together it has a bevel. And then I'm going to apply the top of the dome to the side top of the dome. And then right here where I realized I should have put the back piece on there before I attached the top to the side, but no biggie. Just go back and carefully apply everything to its place, and there you have it. And then I'm going to try to get the sequence right this time when I do it to the other side. So I'm going to start by closing up the undergroove V-cuts, and then I'm going to attach the side piece to the face plate, and then make sure everything is nice and on there. Remember, this part has the inward angle cut, so it's going to have a bevel there. Then when I put in the top and then the side top, and then this time I'm going to put the back top on before I attach those corner pieces down to the side pieces. And this sequence seems to work out a whole lot better, much easier this way. And now that I got both of the main pieces put together, it's time to attach them down the center. And like I usually do, I'm gonna use the surface of my table, make sure all my corners are lined up, and then all my edges are flat to the table, to each other. And since I spray down my tabletop with wax cleaner, the glue and the helmet doesn't actually stick, and it slides a little bit better. And now that both the two big pieces are glued together, it's time to work on the back pieces, which are these two. And I'm going to line it up in the center and then connect the outer corner, and then work my way down the middle, just like that. Now the lower piece actually glues underneath the middle piece, and then once I get that all attached, I'm gonna line up that center line to the center seam line of the helmet, and then just work my way around the edges just like that, around the side and underneath the ear. So yeah, so far the helmet is looking pretty groovy. So let's move along to the neck piece. I'm gonna start by aligning the center mark on the lower part of the neck piece to the middle part of the neck piece, and then I'm going to attach the corners and then work my way down, making sure everything is nice and smooth. It's always good to have some contact cement thinner next to you in a syringe. Well, don't store it in the syringe, the thinner will eat up the syringe, but whenever you mess up, you can always put a little bit of contact cement thinner on it just to break the glue loose, and you can reattach it. Now I'm attaching the upper part of the neck piece and aligning the center and then the corners, and then working my way down the middle just like that. And so far the neck piece is looking pretty legit. And now it's time to put some Velcro right down the middle, that way you can easily take it on and off. Now I used 4mm EVA foam for this, but you can go as thin as possible, and because you know this neck piece is pretty uncomfortable to wear. You can actually go thick too if you want. I don't know why. Now I'm going to take some Velcro and apply some contact cement to the loop side Velcro, which I'm going to glue underneath the neck piece just like that on one side, and then on the other side I'm going to take the hook part of the Velcro and stick it underneath just like that. I'm going to turn off the access, and then the finished product should look something like this. Now, if you know how to sew and add seam allowance, then it wouldn't be a bad idea to make this out of fabric. Now let's move along to the chest piece, or should I say the breast piece, because it doesn't really matter, right? I'm basically going to start from the top of the breast down to the middle, and then the center, and then the lower. Now I didn't put any angle cuts on the any of the edges, but if you wanted to, you can actually put an outward angle cut right here on the very bottom piece. This will let it give it a little bit more definition, but you know, I kind of like it like this. Makes it a little smoother. I don't know. It's all preference, I guess. It's up to you. I did specify angle cuts on the instructions on the template. Now that I have both pieces put together, now it's time to merge the or put together down the center. And what I like to do is connect the both the corners, each corners first, and then work the center in together. And if you look right here, you can actually use this for a different cosplay. And since there was no angle cuts on here, I mean, you can flip it inside out. I don't know if that's the thing. You could probably have two cosplays in one, a reversible cosplay. I don't know. Probably wouldn't do it. Now you couldn't reverse this part. This is the back piece, and it does have a lot of pieces to it. This part, which is like, I don't know, some accents on the back. It's got some angle cuts on there, so when you glue them together, they're going to bevel, and that long piece right there is going to stick out just a little bit. And yeah, this part is a little tricky even when I was designing it, but I thought it was going to look cool, so I rode with it. But I do try to keep my patterns fairly simple. And now that I have this back accent piece fully assembled, now it's time to attach it to the rest. Now this is like the center piece, and I'm going to carefully attach it, and it's not going to go all the way to the edge because that's where your neck goes. It's going to go to right there, and then I'm going to attach the outer side piece just like that. And this also has some angle cuts too, that way they join up nicely and bevel. And because it was a real thin piece right there, it actually extended itself, because I guess the foam was real thin and flimsy and kind of stretched out. But if you start from one corner to the other and then like attach the center, you can easily or carefully attach the rest of it. Just, you got to make sure you know, take your time and get it in there nice and neat. And then if you do mess it up, you can always use contact cement thinner. And what I'll do is I'll put it in a syringe, and I'll just, you know, squirt it on there. The glue will loosen up so that you can actually take it apart and then readjust your pieces as you need. But don't store the thinner in the syringe, because it will eat the rubber in the syringe. Now, I was planning to drop this video in these templates a while back, but I deleted the original footages, and I had to go back and reshoot everything. So now I'm stuck with two Pepper Pott's IronMan rescue suit, and yeah, and that's the reason why it's taking me so long to put out a video, because I basically had to go back and rebuild it again. It was easier the second time around. It's just I didn't have enough of the 6mm foam that I used on the first build. But on the second build, this one, I'm using 4mm, and it's actually turning out pretty okay. I've never really built a full cosplay with 4mm foam, but it actually turned out pretty good. Now, I do prefer the 6mm foam, and I tried to use 6mm on the whole entire build. That way you know, when you do order your supplies, you're not buying several different thicknesses, but it's also good to have a bunch of different sizes to play with, you know, so you can stagger your thicknesses and stuff like that. Alright, so I've already got my Velcros cut out. I'm going to apply Velcro or contact cement directly onto the loop side of the Velcro. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply contact cement on the inner edges of the bottom pieces or the rib sides. Now you can actually extend or trim down right here if it's, you know, too big or too small. And you can also add some more material to the top part, but I know this is going to fit, so I'm going to go ahead and glue the back directly to the front. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and put the Velcro, loop Velcro right here onto the back side. Now this actually has an adhesive back end, but I just didn't take the peel the backing off, whatever. Then I'm going to then I'm going to put the hook Velcro on the front side, and then I'm going to attach the back to the front over here on the strap area. And this is how it kind of goes together right here. So you just kind of throw it over your head or her head, and then attach it to the side just like that. So we're pretty much done with the top piece. Now I still have to go back and burn in some details with the wood burner along those lines, and I actually do go back and switch up the design a little bit, but that's entirely up to you. You can do whatever you want. I mean, it's just cosplay, and it's your cosplay. So yeah, so right now we are working on the abdominal rib to the back area. I'm going to attach these pieces together. And then once I get the rib pieces done, I'm going to attach it to the abdominal piece. Make sure everything is on there nice and tight, and it's going to wrap around the body just like that. Now this is the hip section, your cod piece, I guess, and I'm going to start by gluing that piece together. Now you can actually make that centerpiece one piece when you cut it out, but since it's just such an odd piece, it actually wastes a lot of material whenever I cut it like that. So I did cut it in two pieces, so that way, you know, I can glue it together and save on some material. And these are the hip to the buttocks pieces. Once I get these two pieces glued together, and I'm going to join it to the center piece just like that. Now since this one is actually cut in 4mm foam, it doesn't really have that you can't really see the angle cuts on there, but I'll show you with the 6mm foam. It does look a little bit better. And once I get done with the hip and the rib area, I'm going to go ahead and attach those two pieces together, and we're going to apply some Velcros along the back right here. Now you should test fit this before you add your Velcro, because this is where you're going to want to extend or trim depending on your body size. So yeah, I already know this is going to fit, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply my Velcro. And you're probably thinking, well, this looks kind of odd. Should it look like this? Well, it does wrap around the body, and the body isn't like a tube, so it does match the contour pretty well. Now I'm going to measure out my Velcros, and I'm going to cut them accordingly. And then I'm going to apply some contact cement onto the loop Velcro. And if you're wondering where I got this orange applicator, I got it from Home Depot. You can find it in the plumbing section and the contact cement section. They don't sell barge there, but they do sell contact cement for PVC pipes, or I think it's rubber cement, and it's not the same thing. Alright, so the stuff that they sell at Home Depot in the plumbing section won't work, but if you go down a couple aisles to the paint section, you can find yourself some dab wood contact cement, and those will work just as well. Well, not as good as barge, but it'll work, and you can buy it anywhere really. Barge is a little bit harder to come by unless you know, order it or got the hookup somewhere. Now that the contact cement is dried, I can go ahead and apply the Velcro just by peeling it out and then just sticking it on. I do leave a little bit hanging over, that way I can connect it to the the bottom piece to the top piece, but I don't think it's necessary because you do want to be able to move around. You don't want to constrain yourself, but yeah. So this is kind of how it goes together, just like that, and then the back piece just like that. And so far it should look something like this, and you should be able to wear it and move around. See right here where the back is not really connected, but the front is. And I do add a G-string to the front that connects to the back. So here's the first version that I made out of 6mm EVA foam, and you can see that it looks a little bit better, a little bit thicker. And I did put an elastic with Velcro glued onto it on the bottom part right there, and it's supposed to act like a G-string, come around the bottom to the back, and then Velcro's on just like that. So I used double-sided Velcro and glued that onto the elastic, and then I glued the elastic to the front just like that. So yeah, it wraps around nicely. And here is a shot of it all together, and I think it's looking pretty legit. I don't know, y'all let me know what you think in the comment section below. And here is a shot of the side back profile. So if you're digging what I'm cooking and you're into this kind of stuff, then make sure you check the links in the description down below, and it should take you to the templates. And if you're wondering where I got this mannequin, I actually made it myself, and let me know in the comment section below if this is what you're into, and maybe I'll make a video on it. It's actually one of the projects that got deleted, so I would have to make me another one, and if I do, I'll probably use this one for paint booth or something like that. Well, I guess that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment in the comment section below, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.